Look around your room right now. See that light bulb? The one you think Thomas Edison invented? Well, here's the shocking truth. You've been kept in the dark about the real genius who made it practical. In 1881, a brilliant inventor figured out how to make light bulbs last months instead of hours. His name was Lewis Howard Latimer, and his story was nearly erased from history. The son of escaped slaves became the man who literally lit up America. But chances are, you've never heard his name. Today, we're exposing the forgotten genius who helped create the modern world you're living in right now. The story begins on a cold September night in 1842, when George Latimer and his wife Rebecca desperately fled from Virginia to Boston, pursuing a dangerous path to freedom. George, who would become Lewis's father, was captured and nearly sent back to slavery. But Frederick Douglass himself rallied abolitionists to raise funds for his freedom. Born in Chelsea, Massachusetts in 1848, young Lewis Latimer entered a world where his very existence was a radical act of defiance. Despite laws restricting education for black children, Lewis taught himself mechanical drawing by watching others and practicing late into the night by candlelight. The very technology he would later revolutionize. The family lived in constant fear of slave catchers until the Fugitive Slave Act was repealed. At just 15, Lewis lied about his age to join the U.S. Navy during the Civil War, serving on the USS. When he returned, armed with determination and his self-taught skills, he took a job as an office boy at Crosby & Gould, a prestigious patent law firm in Boston. It was here that destiny began to unfold, though no one, least of all the partners who hired him to sweep floors, could have predicted how this young man would change the course of technological history. Latimer faced obstacles that would have broken most people. In a society that saw black Americans as inferior, he had to be twice as good to get half as far. The patent office, where he would eventually file his own groundbreaking inventions, was the same institution that once counted enslaved people as 3/5 human. Despite his extraordinary talent for mechanical drawing, many clients initially refused to work with him because of his race. But Latimer's brilliant mind couldn't be denied. When Alexander Graham Bell needed technical drawings for his telephone patent application in 1876, Latimer worked through sleepless nights to complete them. His precision and expertise helped Bell beat his competitors to the patent office by mere hours. Yet, even this achievement was questioned. Some suggested a black man couldn't possibly have created such precise, technical drawings. Latimer's response: he just kept innovating. In an era when electric lights burned out after a few hours and were too expensive for most Americans, Latimer saw a problem he could solve. But the scientific establishment wasn't exactly welcoming to a self-taught black inventor trying to improve upon Edison's design. Working initially for the United States Electric Lighting Company, Latimer tackled the biggest problem in electric lighting: the filament. Edison's early bulbs used bamboo filaments that burned out quickly and were expensive to produce. Latimer revolutionized the industry by developing a method to create carbon filaments. His process involved carefully heating carbon strips inside a cardboard envelope, creating a durable, long-lasting filament that could be mass-produced at a fraction of the cost. This wasn't just an incremental improvement. It was the breakthrough that made electric light practical and affordable for the average American. Latimer then went on to design an improved socket for light bulbs and a better carbon filament manufacturing process. Patenting both innovations, he literally wrote the book on electric lighting, publishing Incandescent Electric Lighting, a practical description of the Edison system in 1890. His expertise was so renowned that he was sent to London and Montreal to oversee the establishment of electric lighting plants. When Thomas Edison formed his team of elite engineers, what would become General Electric, he specifically recruited Latimer. Think about that, a self-taught black inventor, the son of escaped slaves, became one of Edison's chief engineers during America's Reconstruction era. It was unprecedented, but Latimer's genius demanded recognition. Yet despite these monumental achievements, Latimer's name began fading from history even during his lifetime. While Edison was celebrated as the Wizard of Menlo Park, Latimer's crucial contributions were increasingly overlooked. The same racial prejudices that he had fought against throughout his career worked to minimize his role in electrifying America. As Jim Crow laws tightened their grip on the nation, the narrative of the electric light became increasingly whitewashed. History books simplified the story to focus on Edison alone, dropping Latimer's essential innovations from the narrative. Even his role in Alexander Graham Bell's telephone patent was largely forgotten. The pattern was familiar, a black inventor's contributions being credited to their white employers or colleagues. Patent records were clear about Latimer's innovations, but popular history chose a simpler, less inclusive story. By the time of his death in 1928, many of his groundbreaking achievements were already being attributed to others, or simply forgotten. The man who had literally illuminated America's cities was himself being left in the shadows. But here's why Latimer's story matters more than ever today. His carbon filament innovation didn't just light up homes. It illuminated the path for future generations of inventors who didn't fit the traditional mold. Every time you flip a light switch, you're touching a piece of Latimer's legacy. His patents and innovations didn't just improve the light bulb. They made electric light accessible to everyone, fundamentally transforming how we live and work. The next time someone tells you Edison invented the light bulb, remember Lewis Howard Latimer, the man who made it practical, affordable, and life-changing. His story reminds us that innovation doesn't care about race, formal education, or social status. It cares about brilliance, determination, and the courage to light up the darkness. Today, organizations like the National Society of Black Engineers carry forward Latimer's legacy, supporting new generations of inventors and innovators who might otherwise be overlooked. In a world still struggling with inequality and representation in STEM fields, Latimer's journey from office boy to pioneering inventor isn't just history, it's a blueprint for the future. Because sometimes the most brilliant light comes from the most unexpected places. And that's worth remembering every time you turn on a light.